Good evening, boys and girls. Welcome back to another live edition of the Highbury Squad. What a week it has been at HSHQ. And is there a better way to end it than with this legend? It's Super Kevin Campbell's live weekly fan Q&A. You guys better be ready because he's coming at ya. Welcome back to the show, my podcast brother from another mother. It's Super Kevin Campbell.
Yeah, listen, I am ready. I'm ready for some. I know he's coming today. Bring the smoke.
You know what, Kev? I was going to play this at the end, but I'm going to do it at the beginning and we'll share his info at the end. But Matthew Hudson, one of our longtime listeners, sent this.
Oh, I tell you what.
Love Matthew. He's an animator and an illustrator, and he just sent these out of the goodness of his heart. He sent this one, which I think is so epic and just encapsulates you. And then he sent this one.
Listen, this one frightened me, man. I'm telling you, look at you're using that samurai with a band. Look at that head on.
Listen, Kev, you told me take no prisoners, so I took you literally.
You're definitely taking none. I ain't keeping quiet with you now.
But here, right now, I mean, you're ready to brook some next tonight.
Oh, yeah,
but,
that's that is the Kev Says one. One. Well done, Matthew. Brilliant.
Yeah, well done, Matthew. And you can find Matthew at Jumbie Bird Animation on Instagram and Jumbie Bird. Check him out. If you need any illustration or animation work, Matthew is the man. I just thought that was so lovely of him to do that for us and to share it with us as well. And there's so many great things that our listeners send to us as well. And to all the new folks who've signed up as well, welcome to the Squaddy Nation. At ease. All right, here we go. There's no better way to end the week than with a little Kevin Says. And as you guys know, Kev has 3 questions prepared for you. We're also going to be answering some of your YouTube comments tonight, so get ready for that. I think I've got these in the right order today. Let me see, but here we go. Let's just get stuck right into it. There's a lot of stuff out there right now. Some people say the Madison thing isn't happening. The AFC Bell says it is. It's like Ornstein versus Bell online. You know, Ramsdale and all this stuff. Kev's got some questions for you. Here we go.
Kev Says is here, and here's a quick question. Number 1, do you agree with, I don't know if it's true, about a 30 million bid for Ramsdale, goalkeeper? What's your thoughts, everybody? Question 1.
This one has really got people going, Kev. You know, it doesn't take much to get the Arsenal Nation going in terms of their opinions. And I can totally understand why some Arsenal fans are a little afraid of a 30 million signing of a goalkeeper that, as our very good friend Curtis Shaw said on our show this week, has been relegated twice. Okay. So I know that the rule is, by the way, if you're new, we play the questions and it's all you guys. It's all your content. You give the answers, we put them up, and then Kev shares his opinion at the very end. So I'm just going to start putting these up. Rudy says, no, thank you. Rudy, tell us why. You know the rules here. You know the rules. Let's see. 30 million ain't bad. Natuba, what? 30 million for Ramsdale?
No, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute.
Are we talking about the jet that we want to get for the Highbury squad?
Hold on a minute. I feel he's a plant here. He is. He's a plant. He's not a gooner.
Is that a Sheffield United fan trying to sell him on?
He's not a gooner. I know that much.
Well, we have Angry Gooner here who says nope. All right, tell us why. Remember, Newman. Welcome back, Newman. Hope you're on good form tonight. What a waste of money. I mean, here's the scoop as to why fans think it's a waste of money. And squaddies and everyone in chat, This is how we do our show. We're all together. You're so part of it and you make it, right? Especially this one with Kev.
Can we have one caveat?
Oh, yeah.
The previous goalkeeper doesn't get a mention.
Oh, it's impossible.
No, it can't be because he's gone.
No, but
he's gone.
Okay,
but he's gone. So let's not even.
But that's why fans are up a one.
Yeah. But they were upset at the time. It happened. It's gone. Let it go. But move on. Here we are, a year on.
But Kev is part of the narrative.
But it isn't, because it's gone. It's a year gone.
But the point is that why didn't we make him the main guy?
Because Leno beat him out. It's that simple.
Did he? Really?
No,
after his run in Project Restart and then the FA Cup?
No, but he did because he won. He got the number one. So let's not talk about a player who's not even at our football club. Let's talk about this now.
But take me back. Pirate Radio Archives agrees. You can't erase history like that.
I'm not erasing. Hey, I'm not erasing history. I'm just saying it's no point crying over spilt milk like we've done already at the start of last season.
Okay, but Newman agrees with me, which is very rare these days. It's part of the narrative. The incompetent decisions are continuing. You asked the question, right?
I asked the question, but you can't mention our old keeper because he's not at the club.
Well, Kev, Joel agrees with you. We can't turn back time, so may as well move on. But I'm sorry.
But this is what Kev says is about, isn't it? Come on, Sophie. Let's see you now. Get that samurai out. I'm worried.
I tell you something, Kev. If you're not careful, I'm going to unleash this on you. Here we go.
Oh. Hey, listen. You drop that samurai. You watch it.
And
all right.
Yeah, because he's gone to Real Sociedad, Mark. That ship sailed, so that's over.
You tell me what you were going to say regarding our previous.
Okay. And hi, Soph, Gossip TV. Yeah, Soph says, I hate this Emi Martinez talk. I wish we'd move on from it. But Soph and everyone. Yeah. Okay, but wait. The point is here we are. And I'm only going to say this, and then it's down to everyone in chat. Okay, here's my point. And thank you for letting me make it. It is your show tonight. We sold him for 25 million to Aston Villa, right? And we put our eggs in the Leno basket. Even after Emi had a phenomenal run, and granted, he'd been at the club for a long time. But you and I have always talked about, hey, I don't care how long you've played there. If you've been in a year and you've had impact, if you play 10 games and you have an impact and you help the team, and he did help the team win the FA Cup, that everyone has lauded Arteta for doing in his first season. 25 million. Now we're back in the business of finding a goalkeeper. So I understand certain fans who are a little bit put out that we made maybe a bad business decision. And here we're finding ourselves now with the goalkeeper we put our eggs in his basket, might not even be happy at our club and wants to leave. That's my point. So with that said, I'm going to go to the room. All right. Bear with me, you guys, but I'm going to put all your comments up here. Campbell is, I think, he's missing the on, but spot on. Arsenal Granny. Hello, Arsenal Granny. Arsenal Granny says it's old news. Demsek, 30 million for a number 2 is too much. Well, the other goalkeeper, there's all sorts of issues with him, Demsek, and I just don't think we want to get embroiled in some of that. But is he going to be a number 2? I don't think we're going to spend 30 million on a backup goalkeeper. You can answer that question. I know you're going to give your thoughts at the end, Kev. 30 million for a backup goalkeeper?
Well, look, I can't see Arsenal paying 30 million for a backup goalkeeper. No, not in a month of Sundays. No,
I can't see us paying 30 million for a goalkeeper, let alone a backup goalkeeper.
Listen, we can pay money for a goalkeeper, but 30 million is a bit too heavy. I believe 30 million. The truth of the matter is, I've got to open a little bit of my end talk.
You do here.
I have to open it up a little. I don't think we're going for Ramsdale. I honestly don't believe that.
What makes you say that when
Because
what makes you say that?
what makes me say this is because there's better keepers out there cheaper. That's why.
Well, Matty K saying, ring, ring. Hello, it's Arsenal Football Club. Is that Emiliano Martinez? We made a mistake. Can we buy you back, please? Runnison is about the same level as Ramsdale. Do you agree with that one? You can answer that question.
No, I don't. I think Ramsdale, he's played a few seasons in the Premier League and he's a better keeper than Runnison. He's got more experience. Mm-hmm. So I think he's better. But the name and look, you can say he's been playing for a club that ain't great. We've seen Tom Pope get bought by Manchester United, for instance. Do you know what I mean? So these keepers at the lesser clubs can be decent, but we need. Listen, if we're going to buy a keeper, we need to be spending big money on a number one. If we don't fancy Leno, go and get a top class number one.
What about Lloris?
Shut it down.
What about Lloris?
Or else shut it down. I'm not even listen, did you see I didn't even flinch?
I know you did not respond to me when I mentioned him at all.
Stop that.
Okay.
Stop
all right. Let me get to some of these comments, Kev. Temi, welcome to the show. I don't understand this deal, to be honest. Get Onana instead. Arsenal always spends money on what is not necessary. That's a good point.
Listen.
But a goalkeeper is important.
The problem with Onana is he's got a ban, and then there's the African nations. So you're still going to need another keeper because he's going to spend a time where he can't play, and then he'll be ready, and then he'll go to the African nations. So
Andrew says, for that money, no. Why sell? Apparently, we're not allowed to mention Martinez, even though it's the reason why we're in this bloody position, Andrew.
You can't listen,
Andrew.
We would have loved to have kept. Let's have it right here, Soph. We would have loved to have kept Emmy and Leno together. We would have loved to have done that. Two brilliant keepers. But Emmy, as soon as he had his purple patch, he knew I need to play. And it was a straight deal. Is Arteta going to choose Leno or is he going to choose Martinez? And anybody in their right mind, with the experience that Leno's got, with the inexperience that Martinez got, although he had an absolutely brilliant time, they went with the experienced goalkeeper, the one that they'd spent £25 million on, which you could understand. Emmy said, well, I've got to go because I've got an opportunity to make it into Argentina's first team. And he did. And he's done great, hasn't he? And we wish him well.
You saw who Messi was hugging the most in the Copa America.
Yeah, but we can't then, after it's all done and dusted, then now start turning back and saying, "Oh, what Emmy Martinez?" That's gone now, guys. Come on.
Well, look, Wayne's saying, I won't read that. Well, FFS. Martinez wanted to be number one. He was going to be after
That's
just
for
10.
flip's sake, isn't it? For flip's sake.
Maybe Wayne can help us. It was the right decision at the time. And hindsight 2020, it's true. It's but I think the reason why we're here and we're having this conversation is a lot of Arsenal fans did not think it was the right thing at the time.
That's right.
Right?
That's exactly right, Sophie. And here's the thing with goalkeepers. Just imagine, it was the other way around. Martinez stayed and Leno went. Leno had a great season and Martinez didn't have a great season. What do you reckon the narrative would have been, Sophie?
Well,
it would have been the same. It would have been, we should have never let Leno go because Leno's got the experience and Martinez really had a great spell, but he really doesn't have the experience.
So here's what you should be doing if you're Arteta and Adu. You beg Leno for one more season. We'll let you go in the next summer, right? Because like Fala says, Arsenal can't afford Ramsdale. You know why? We want to put our eggs in the James Maddison basket, or we want to put them in the Basuma basket, or we want to put them in the right back basket. You know, we shouldn't. And the whole thing now, Matty Ryan's gone to Real Sociedad, but he had a great few games when he was asked to come on last season, Premier League experience as well. It just felt like it was one of those typical Arsenal knee-jerk reaction, bad decisions. But I think once Emmy knew that he was never going to be the number one guy, he was out of there. And, you know, and rightly so. And yeah, Martin, he did only have 1 year left. I mean, we had to cash in 25 million for a player who'd been there, how many, 8 years? Maybe, is it 10 or 8 or 10 years? And really shone.
In the last few months.
Right.
You know, 25 million is good money with a player who's got 1 year left, who didn't really rip trees up. Let's be honest, he's had games before. He didn't really show that much. He hit his purple patch now. So,
do you think we're going to do this? Because Osteoman and a few others have mentioned, and Andrew and also a couple of others, Maria, have mentioned Neto, Kev.
Yeah. Look, Mikel Arteta obviously knows the football club. He knows the players. They are, if we're honest, they have to move and shake some players out of that football club and get them off the wage bill. Let's be honest, because you know they're struggling financially, so there's an opportunity to pick their bones a little bit. And Neto's a competent keeper, and a decent backup. I've seen him play. He's a decent keeper, and he's number 2 now to Stegen over there, and to bring him in and challenge, why not? He's good with his feet. He can play. Why not?
Well, for me, this guy is not worth 30 million. And I'm going to ask you this because, Kev, when you look at Leno, you look at Ramsdale, is there a chance that Arteta is also trying to build more of a British core in the side? We're not making decisions on positions based on we need a British core, you know, and he's available. That's a bit kind of a stretch in terms of what I'm saying, maybe, but is it?
Well, no, not necessarily, because you know, having British players in your team makes a difference. We've seen it. Even, you know, Invincibles. All these guys, there were British players in there in key positions as well, Sophie. And you can't not legislate for that. That is really important. So to try and build a British core, I still believe there's better keepers than Ramsdale, even cheaper. I think Sam Johnson at West Brom's a really good keeper. But he's been a number 1, and this is the problem. These guys have been number 1s wherever they go, so it's difficult to get them in to say, I'm going to play second fiddle to Leno. So that's the dilemma we have.
Anik mentions Areola as well. So, you know, there's lots of options out there. I just wanted to put this one. Sophie loves to come back and rub the nose in the good poop. I thought that was a really good comment.
Not about good poop. It's toxic, that
is
one.
There is any poop good poop? I don't think so.
No.
I really don't think so. Okay, so let's see. Neil says, all the crying about ex-players need to stop. You know what? I'm all on board with that. I am. I mean, when we say crying, are we going back? How far back are we going? Are we going Robin Van Persie?
He's referring. I think he's referring to Martinez on this occasion, because obviously, you know, he's had a wonderful season last season. Done great for Argentina, which is what he really wanted. He wanted that number 1 spot for Argentina. He knew there was a gap. And look, you know, Messi gets his first trophy, and he made a good contribution. So fair play to him.
Chris says he hopes that we sign Ramsdale. He's got something about him, but not for 30 million. I could buy into that with Chris. It's like he's a decent keeper, but he's not worth 30 million. I think that's a really good point. Yeah. And then also, Kev, some of the squaddies in chat are talking about the sell-on factor. And he's a British player, so he would draw. This is why he's 30 million, because it's the UK market, isn't it?
Listen. I'm gonna brock the neck when I do my summary at the end. I'm fed up with these people talking about sell-ons. You wait until the end, Sophie. You wait until the end. Honestly, you watch. Arsenal fans, I got something for you right at the end.
Holy cow, we're all in trouble, everyone. We are all in trouble. All right, let's move on to the next question, shall we? Great comments from everyone in chat. Keep them coming. Everyone's enjoying the Bruk the Next stuff as well.
They know they're going to... I got you. Don't worry. You watch and see.
We even have someone singing a little bit of Oasis for us in chat, and Ryan is reminding everyone of those players that we keep crying about.
Yeah. That funny. There's no Ashley Cole in there.
Yeah, well,
he's not going back that far.
I've forgiven after covering Ashley at LA Galaxy and seeing like he was always lovely to me and he was always great with the media. So I kind of forgave him. Call me weak sauce, everyone. I don't care. Just I couldn't keep hating on him. He was really just a really pleasant guy to deal with and stuff like that. Real quick from Fala here, Sophie and Kev, the real question should be asking, who's advising us Arteta to go for a Runnison and now Ramsdale? This is a really good question.
Whoa. Who said we are going for Ramsdale?
Everybody.
It's rumor. So we're talking about rumors. We don't know. And again, this is where we're dissecting it. We're chopping it up. Let's be honest. 30 million for a keeper to back up. I just can't see it. Honestly, I just can't see it.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, I know. I knew you guys would be upset with me on
this is a NolaGooner special.
Yes.
This is a Nola.
We're going to talk about that.
Ignorance, yes.
Yes, I love that. He's doing a great job with his T-shirts. And just for you, Elliot, he wants to see that cartoon again.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Okay, guys, get ready for this next question. Sorry if you're upset with me on the Ashley Cole thing. I bring Buffon out of retirement. And Newman said, let's not talk about it. They said they're not going to talk about it, and they've talked about it for 15 minutes. And now Matty K wants us to move on. So here we are. We're moving on. Here we go. Question number 2 from Super Kevin Campbell.
Question number 2. If it's up to you, this is just hypothetical now because we don't know the truth. Would you go for Henderson or Sanchez? Which of the 2 players would you go for? Henderson or Sanchez? Question 2.
So I've been saving the Henderson thing until today because I really wanted to talk to you about this one. I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking there's no way that Henderson is going to leave Liverpool. They'll let him leave Liverpool. That can't be true. I mean, that would be a total Arsenal move if they did that. Arsenal maybe a year, 2 years ago. I mean, he's quality. How old is Henderson now? 32?
I think 32, I think.
Let me check. Jordan Henderson, because I love, you're talking, when you say Sanchez, you're talking Renato Sanchez, right?
Of course, midfield, yeah, midfield.
Okay, so for me, he's a player that we wanted to go after about 4 years ago, right, Kev? He's 31, yep. Jordan Henderson. He's going to be, he just turned 31 in June. Right. He was going to be the player that we felt that we were going to get that midfield machine going again. He had all the attributes.
Driving force, yep.
Absolutely, right? But he also had some injury pickles and he just lost form, Kev. It wasn't even about the injury. He just lost form after that, and he had a good Euros, and then he just nosedived, right? So I'm going to go up and I'm going to put these in chat. 300 of you in live chat tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. You know the rules. If you don't know the rules, here are the rules. Hit the like button if you hate Tottenham.
And if you dislike what we're talking about, hit the like button. There you go.
There you go. Right. Winston, welcome to the show, Winston. Sanchez all day long. Knuckles says Henderson. Martin says Henderson just for the laughs. Sire says Sanchez. Let's see. Someone's asking for your Dicky Bow to come back, but it's that was a pre-record.
Night.
So
that was last night. That was yesterday.
Temi says Sanchez. Cap says Sanchez. Prash says neither. Dimitri, Sanchez all day long. Pirate Radio, Renato Sanchez. Got some compliments on the swagger there again.
Nice one,
Super
Fatality BMB. Thank
Dean
you.
says Sanchez. DJ says Sanchez. Sanchez. I don't think there's going to be many takers in here for Jordan Henderson. Now, for me, this is another Ryan Bertrand conversation, but with someone who's actually won things. Jordan Henderson has won the Premier League, and he's won the Champions League. Could have had 2 Champions Leagues, right? Could have had a Europa League as well. Let's not forget that. Kev, was Jordan Henderson, has he been a better captain at Liverpool Football Club than Steven Gerrard? Why is Jordan Henderson disrespected and not appreciated as a player outside of Liverpool? Outside of Liverpool.
No, I think he is appreciated, but I think Steven Gerrard was a match winner. Let's have it right. He could change a game, Sophie. I think Jordan Henderson has leadership qualities in this Liverpool team where they don't need him to be a goal scorer or someone to create. They need him to do what he does best well. Once he does what he does and uses his energy and gets tight to people and organizes and does all that type of stuff, that's all this team need him to do, because with Mane, Firmino and Salah, they have been absolutely incredible. Let's be honest. And with that midfield trio that Henderson's been a part of, unsung heroes, Henderson, Wijnaldum, Fabinho, these guys, they've been unsung heroes. They've got the job done home and away. For two seasons, they were virtually unstoppable. Let's have it right.
Kev, they built that wall in midfield, and it was the nucleus of everything.
The engine.
And then, of course, they got Van Dijk and Alisson, and that changed a lot of things too. But I wanted to put this one up from Daniel. Someone agreed with Newman, which is a shocker. Henderson only works with the Liverpool squad, won't work in our squad.
How did I know that? How do you know that, Daniel?
But why? I don't get that.
Yeah, how do you know you only work at Liverpool?
Also, I think your comment about not needing to be the hero every game is huge. I think we had players like that for a while. Ozil had to be the hero in every game. If there was no Santi beside him, or Sanchez had to be the hero in every game. Santi had to be the hero in every game. Koscielny had to be the hero in every game. Robin van Persie, Cesc Fabregas. There was no room for forgiveness. And I think you bring up a brilliant point there.
But also, Sophie, look at the other players that were there. The other players had to do their jobs well, so the Cesc Fabregases, the Ozils, the Sanchez of this world can go and do their business. Our problem has always been, we've had these players who can do magic, but the supporting cast wasn't right. And that's why this question is Jordan Henderson is he a better captain than Steven Gerrard? Because now he's got the horses. He's got the pieces around him. What Steven Gerrard didn't.
And he still won the Champions League. He could have won two.
He could have. Steven Gerrard was an incredible player and an incredible captain for Liverpool Football Club.
Yeah.
But the problem was he didn't have the horses with him.
Yeah.
If he had the horses.
It's true. It's very, very true, Kev. That's a really good point. Gerrard also came to the LA Galaxy to play. We talked about Sunday dinners in the dressing room, Kev. He was missing his Sunday roast when he was in Los Angeles.
Yeah, man.
Lots of love for Steven Gerrard as a player. I think we all agree. And Daniel makes a good point, following it up with that he could take the game by the scruff of the neck. Okay, here's one from Richard. Are there going to be certain players, Kev, because you just poo-pooed the idea of Ramsdale resale?
Richard Francis, I'm going to brock you up at the end. You're going to have to wait. So this is 2. Sophie, I'm telling you now. Wait until the end when I deal with these people. Watch and see. Okay.
All right. We'll do that. I wanted to find this comment from someone. Where is it? I respect. I think Henderson was a great player. Not that one. There was one here, Kev. The quality around him. Agree with Daniel Navarre. There was a comment up here about. Can anyone read it out to me if you find it? It's one about Ozil Sanchez, and I wanted to kind of go back to that for a minute. But Kev, Sean says, why does every deal have to have a resale value? Are we a shop? And I agree. I just don't.
I'm going to deal with them after. Just wait. Be patient, Sean. You watch and see how I deal with them.
Think Football. Good evening. What do we do if we're in a Champions League final at Wembley and it gets to penalties? Where will Henderson be subbed off? Okay. Number one. Champions League final. Time out. Time out.
Listen, we can't even get a pre-season tour away at the moment, let alone Champions League final. Football. So please, let's not even go there.
But I mean, some of these are funny, and I love some of the. We got some new people in the room as well, and I'd like to put their comments up. Right, I think it's clear that Sanchez won that one, Kev, by a long stretch. All right, landslide, okay, landslide. And again, still high risk because he's been an up and down player, in my opinion. But again, showed his value in a European Championship. It's funny because Jack Wilshere, Super Jack, told us how much he enjoyed playing in the Champions League versus the Premier League because everything just slows down a little bit,
slows down a touch, yes. More technical.
Yeah. And that's what worries me about Renato Sanchez because, I mean, he didn't have a good time at Swansea.
No,
right.
But you know what, Soph? He didn't, but he was only a baby.
Yeah.
He was only a baby. He was so young. He was so young.
Well, I just think the type of play. Here's what Henderson brings to Arsenal Football Club, which is not going to happen, by the way. But anyway, it's that type of player: leadership, balls, fearlessness. And the type
tenacity, aggression in that midfield where you know what you're going to get.
Right.
And Arsenal, we don't know what we're going to get most of the time with our midfield. If we could rely on our engine room, we'd be all right.
I'm wondering if I should follow up with this bonus question from Bruk because you just brought up the midfield. I'm going to throw this in real quick. Okay, Kev?
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Number 5. Is it proven now that the midfield is our number one priority?
I think it is. I've been saying it for months that if you look at the top teams in the Premier League now, the nucleus of everything, the drive of everything, you have to have a strong midfield. This is why some Arsenal fans are dreaming of maybe Locatelli. This is why some Arsenal fans are dreaming of, they've never given up hope on Basuma. And by the way, to answer your Sanchez and Hendo question again, there were a lot of people that said Basuma. You've been on the Basuma train for months.
I like Basuma. He's combative. He's fit. He's better on the ball than a lot of people give him credit for. And I just think having that sort of power and legs beside Partey makes a difference.
Well, Ray says midfield is the weakest part of our team. Reza says,
I agree.
100% need at least 2 more midfield signings. Ryan is in the on the side of backline, then midfield. I think if Ben White comes in, we've got Gabriel, you've got Rob Holding. You've got Pablo Mari. Right now, if Xhaka's going, there's El Neni and Thomas Partey. Aziz isn't going to get the chances.
Not yet.
Right, Kev?
Yeah, not yet.
Suraj says the midfield has been our priority for years. We always needed a DM, which even Wenger wouldn't address. True. Kevin has been saying that we haven't really addressed it since Vieira in terms of pure old quality.
Pure quality. I mean, and now because people know the game's kind of changed a bit, you need more players in there because certain teams give you different problems. So you need quite a few central midfielders, and especially if we're losing, Torreira's going to be going, and Xhaka's going to be going, and Guendouzi's gone. So that's 3 already.
Kev, when Xhaka was playing left back in the Europa League semi-finals, that made me start missing Coquelin. When I was watching him play for Unai, I'm like, where's that Rottweiler gone? We just don't have that.
We need that beside Partey for sure.
Ify says exactly. People moan about defense, but our midfield gets exposed easily. Let's see. Liz, welcome back to the show. Liz, our midfield is of the utmost importance in this window. It's currently a vacant lot, barring Thomas Partey.
Mm-hmm. But it's him alone. You know, it's him alone.
Right.
He needs some help.
Wayne says it's been our number one priority. People keep crying about right back. It's the least of the issues. Ask is giving you a bit of crap here. Come on. Is that really a question? Of course. Ooh.
Listen, Ask here. Don't you start giving it all that or else you get some of that. No, because here's the thing, Mr. Ask. A lot of people are talking about defense more than midfield.
Right.
Not for me.
Kev, what about Neves? It's gone a bit quiet, and apparently the new rumours, because Jay Ozzy just wants your thoughts on Neves. I know you've said he's a quality player. Apparently Manchester United supposedly are ahead of us because we've been attached to everybody, as you know, Kev. We're signing everyone this season.
Why not?
Ruben Neves for that 30 million mark.
30, 40 million is good money. It's good money, but he's a good player and he's young. So, you know, to get somebody in, he's got Premier League experience. He's been a starter.
Yeah.
That helps as well. He knows the game. He scores goals from outside the box as well. So this is something, and for all people say, you know, Xhaka's been good and all that kind of thing. We haven't had the production from midfield. We haven't had goals from midfield.
Absolutely, hands down, one of the best points you've made all week. Because when Aubameyang was AWOL last season, we didn't have the players who could back that up and score goals, you know. And I agree with someone. I think someone said on the show yesterday that they love Saka and they love ESR. They love them. No critiques other than they need to get more goals, you know. And it's not just them. It's the Pepes of the world that need to get more goals. It's when Martinelli's given a chance. I think that's why when Jack said on the show, he was surprised that when we needed a goal, when we needed someone to come in and just score, he was surprised that Arteta wasn't utilizing Martinelli more.
Yeah, again, that's easy to say that, but you know, with injuries and all that kind of thing, you can't win as a manager sometimes because don't let's have it right.
Arteta really couldn't win as a manager last season.
Let's have it. Listen, don't get me started on that. But all I'm saying is, even in the game in the semi-final, okay, Villarreal, he brought him on, Martinelli on. He brought him on. So we and he took Aubameyang off. We can't have it both ways. We can't. So
yeah,
that's just life, I suppose. Listen, Martinelli again will be a year wiser. He'll be a little bit better this season. Why? Because he finished the season. He was able to come in, finish the season. He's got the training behind his back. He's going to he's at the Olympics, isn't he? I believe.
Martinelli?
Yeah, I'm sure. Did he not get called up? I know he got
Gabriel
stopped.
Didn't go.
Yeah, I know he got stopped from going. He wasn't in the initial, but I think he went in the end.
I may have dropped the ball there, Kev. I'm not sure if Martinelli's gone, but maybe, someone will tell us.
If he's not, then he's going to get a good bit. Would have seen him in pre-season. Do you know what I mean? Would have seen him.
Yeah. I wanted to put this up for you from Kyle, who I think is new to the show. Grew up watching you play at the Arsenal, Kev. Great player, and midfield has no spark, and we need another Vieira and Cazorla. I think we can all agree with that. And yes, Martinelli is at the Olympics. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'd rather he wasn't, but anyway. Fala says, Kev, how much is Arteta paying you? You love these ones. You know, he loves when I put these ones up every day.
Oh, listen, Sana, I'm gonna have a right ding dong with you then. Arteta doesn't pay me a penny.
Yeah,
do you know why? Do you want to know why? For me, just for me, I can't speak about anybody else. I'm speaking from experience and common sense. Common sense tells me what Arsenal need. Okay? Having been in the dressing room, being around players, understand what's going on a football pitch. The youngsters, we're expecting far too much from them.
Whoa,
now we We're expecting them to produce the goods, to have end product, to score goals. That's what the experienced players do. Why? Because they're experienced. Unfortunately, we were relying on a bunch of youngsters last season who done well for us, but obviously we need the bigger players to really stand up. And a lot of that comes from not having our midfield right and defense right, because they are the catalyst that spring our attacks.
Nice one. Simon, we are so happy you found us as well. Thank you so much. Welcome to the squad. Welcome to the squad.
He's a photographer and actor. He's in London at the moment. He's acting.
Oh,
he's doing it. I know him.
Wow.
I know Simon Peter. He's a top fella. And top man. Absolutely top man.
I love this from Mr. J as well. So
yeah, well, I'm working here for free. That's for sure, Mr. J. J. I'm working here for free, so don't start all that.
Oh my God, hilarious. Anyway, all right, here we go. How about we hit them with the last question, right? And then you can address all of these. Yeah. Welcome, Simon. Yes, everyone. I love our squaddies, how they welcome all the new folks. All right. Here's your bonus question for this week's Kevin Says.
Bonus question number 3. Does James Maddison, in your eyes, if we go for him, does he improve us to be really challenging at the top end of the table for that Champions League spot? Does he? So I look forward to seeing with you, engaging with you, seeing your comments, and having to deal with some of you as well. All the best.
And boy, is he dealing with you today. He's taking no prisoners, is Super Kevin Campbell. All right, let's get rolling on this one. So it's very interesting because everyone's been talking about Maddison, and then the Ornacle came out and kind of poo-pooed the whole thing, that it's not realistic, right? So you had a lot of people riding the Maddison wave, and then the AFC Bell tweeted, I think it was today, I think it was my Cockney Turk that retweeted it, and I saw where he said they stand by their contact and what they have been telling them about Maddison and Arsenal so far. So, I mean, of course, everything's speculative at this point, but you've got some people double downing on the Maddison thing, Kev. We talked about it with Curtis Shaw last night, and we were talking about once a lot of fans were like, well, once the number 10 shirt went to Emil, why would we want Maddison? Whereas we had the conversation where Maddison actually sees himself as a number 8.
Yep.
And if I... correct me if I'm wrong, is there a number 8 shirt available currently, Kev, at the Arsenal?
I think there is. Oh, I tell you what, you sign him and he wants it, he's got it. Don't worry about that.
He certainly does. Certainly does have it. So you've got a lot of yeses here. Knuckles says no. Cap says yes. Arnie says no. Priska says, I wish Arteta proves a lot of Arsenal supporters wrong about his management style. We all do. Sean says 1,000% on Maddison. Arsenal fan says absolutely no. And we'll keep going. James Maddison, not sure. What is it you're not sure about with Maddison? I mean, you know, won the FA Cup last season. He's really good at set pieces. One thing I will say where the trepidation might come in.
Did he play?
In the FA Cup?
Yeah.
Well, he won it. I'm not saying he won it.
No.
No, he was injured, wasn't he?
I'm just thinking, did he play? Because, you know, it's...
Well, the thing with him, Kev, is he's a peaks and troughs kind of player. I don't know if that's the right saying here, but he will go up and then he'll come down. He will be on fire for 3 months and light up the interviews, and everyone will fall in love with Madders. Oh, he's so cool. He's so honest. He's so authentic. He'll score a couple screamers. He'll have, you know, brilliant. And then for 3 months, he'll be like.
And can I ask you a question?
Course.
You and the squaddies, Is that good enough for Arsenal?
No, it's what we've seen before.
No, I'm asking you, is that good enough for Arsenal?
No, because we need absolute consistency. And I know Liz, it was the hip injury that kept him out for a while. But even when he's a live wire, yes, Matty, but he does score goals, Joel. Yep. And Virginia, he does improve us. But is he a big game player? Like when you look at, he missed out on the Euros eventually because of injuries, but he wouldn't have made that team, Kevin.
No chance. No chance he would have made it.
And there's a little bit of something like 70 million now they're saying, for him. I don't know. You're going to give us your roundup now before we go on to a few other things, but let me just get some more comments up. Jay Aussie here. Madison is not coming. Don't get your hopes up. 70 million is a lot of money. And again, for me, he's not Danny Ceballos. Well, he did have the number 8 shirt, yes. And again, another player skyrockets. We all fall in love with him. Nosedive, In the FA Cup run, Kevin, Project Restart, Ceballos was one of our best players. And then we need consistency. Look at Oba, 2 years, scoring goals, soaring to the moon and back, carried the team.
2 years is unbelievable form, let me tell you. 2 years is unbelievable form. But last season, we relied on it too much, Sophie. And this is what happens. If you rely on a player too much and then that player's level drops, that's why we finished where we did.
You tell him, Johnny boy, only 1 in 4 squaddies are exercising their prerogatives and hitting the like. Scandalous. Hit that like button.
Come on, squaddies.
Come on. Over 400 of you.
Eat it!
400 of you in live chat. If you don't, I'm not sure you want to keep dealing with this guy because he's on fire today. There's no doubt about that. Here's one from Martin. I love James Ward-Prowse. This is where I think we get a little bit of snobbery. James Ward-Prowse should have been in that England team because I lost count how many set pieces we had that we wasted in that tournament. And he would probably be a 30 million pound player, 25, 30, James Ward-Prowse.
If Arsenal put a bid in for James Ward-Prowse and he was coming to Arsenal, I'd be happy.
I would love it.
I'd be happy.
Yeah.
Because he's a worker, he's consistent, and his deliveries at set pieces make a difference.
Exactly. I think he's really good. Andrew, hit the like button if you don't want Ramsdale at the carpet. Excellent. All right, Kev, here we've got a few from Reza. Let's do this. The question is what the alternatives. There are alternatives, aren't there?
No, hold on. Hey, Reza, that's not the question.
Right. But there are alternatives.
Of course, there are always alternatives. But the question is, would signing Madison, James Madison, propel Arsenal into the Champions League spots or to be really challenging?
I don't think he can be consistent enough personally to do that. And Winston, it is a great shout. 100% he's class. He is different, but James Ward-Prowse is consistent. And the other thing about Ward-Prowse, he doesn't really get injured a lot. You guys can correct me on that. Yeah. And he's 26 years old. So, yeah. I would do a Basuma Ward-Prowse. Now we're talking. I like Madison. I think he's a really good player, but there's something about it that just doesn't sit well with me. Okay, Kev, how about you round it up and let everyone know what your thoughts are on your own questions?
All right. I'm gonna address 2 things at once to start with, right? I've got a bee in my bonnet about this. Let me tell you something, Sophie. And I've got a question to ask you. Arsenal are a massive club, are they not?
I think
it's the Arsenal, right?
People mistake being a crap Premier League team right now for still being a great club.
Right. It's the Arsenal. Arsenal are the Arsenal.
Right. There's no the Liverpool, the Man United. It's the Arsenal.
Exactly. It's the Arsenal.
And Liverpool was still Liverpool when they were crap in the league.
Exactly.
Right.
When we sign players, we do not sign players because of sell-on. A good sell-on. No, no, no. It doesn't work like that because you are at the top club. You're at the big clubs. Big clubs don't sign players because of the sell-on.
Mm-hmm.
Big clubs sign players because of the quality that they bring, because you're bringing them in to try and make a difference for 3, 4, 5 years. All this nonsense about, oh, the sell-on of this player, the sell-on of that, it's nonsense. Usually, big clubs do not sell players for more money. They usually have to sell the players down, or the players run their contracts and leave. That's a fact. So let's do away with all this. Oh, the sell-on of this, the sell-on on that. No, absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. If we're Arsenal and we're the Arsenal and we're thinking about progressing and getting better, we have to sign quality players, and we don't think about sell-on clauses, because you know what sell-on clauses tells me?
The players
we're
not
a selling
committed to
club.
the club. Mm-hmm.
No, we're a selling club.
But we had been.
No, what I'm saying is, if you think about sell-on clauses, then you're a selling club.
Right.
It's that simple. So let me get to Ramsdale now. I don't think it's real. I don't think Arsenal would spend 30 million on him. I might be wrong. But I think there's better goalkeepers out there who we can get cheaper. And a lot cheaper. I think we could get a Sam Johnston who done great at West Brom, got relegated as well, but was with the England squad and all that. We could get him at 15 million. He's been a number one for quite a while now. Really good goalkeeper. So I think that could happen. Ramsdale, I can't say I've seen him a lot, but what I have seen.
What about Pope, Kev?
He struggled.
What about Pope?
He's just gone to Man United.
When did that happen? How did I miss that?
Sophie, what's going on?
What, Nick, he went to Man United when?
Man United. Pope's gone to Man United. So, again, Pope, I like Pope, but Man United ain't messing around. See, these clubs ain't messing around. These clubs ain't messing around.
But a goalkeeper for us, here's the scoop with the goalkeeper, right? In the 2 years where Aubameyang was saving us with goals, let's all agree that Leno was also saving us with his saves. He had those two players during that time, right up through before he got injured and Emmy came in. Leno was on fire, right?
Yeah.
And so was Aubameyang. They saved us. Now, I think what's happened a little bit is, for sure, over the years, there's been no confidence between our goalkeeper and our back line. I don't think our defense really, Czech never fit in for me. Another signing I just didn't like. Never saved a penalty the whole time he was at Arsenal. A great goalkeeper at Chelsea, Kev, but the relationship between the goalkeeper and our defense, and as our defense is evolving and we may bring in a new right back, you may have like a Ben White playing with Gabriel, a Tierney at left back. That goalkeeper, it needs to be the master and commander.
Big time. We've been playing at goalkeepers. Can't play anymore.
No.
We can't play anymore. That's why I just can't see 30 million on Ramsdale, Soph. I just can't see it.
Oh, it wasn't Pope. I thought so. It's Tom Heaton.
Oh, Heaton.
Yeah. And I agree with running with Pope?
I don't think we would. I like him. I like him as a goalkeeper. But I don't think we will go for him. You know why? Because I don't think he's good enough with his feet.
Okay, so again, we're not going to bring up the old goalkeeper, but we also, Runnisson's not going to be that guy. I thought Ryan did well when he came in, but he's not the long-term answer as well.
Ryan's gone, isn't he? He's in Spain.
Yeah.
Because he's
gone to Real
Yeah,
Sociedad.
he's going to be a number one. That's the key. He's going to be a number one. So why would I be a number two? I love Arsenal, but I'm being a number two there when I could be a number one somewhere else. He wants to play.
It's such an important position.
Key.
It's such a big. I know some some fans are like, we need the midfield. Yes, we do. They are both as important as each other, you know, and I would love to see us have a keeper that can come in and, you know, just have and be full of all that confidence and instill that confidence in the defense as well.
Can I say this, Soph?
Yeah.
If we get our midfield right, I'm cool with Leno.
Because he won't see the ball much, huh?
Yeah, because because there won't be that much pressure on the defense. Because any attack will stop it virtually at source.
Everyone loves Onana, Kev. And it seems like we're hot as a club, we're hot on him. But
again, I'm going to say this again. The problem with Onana is he's got a suspension. And then he's going to the Africa Cup of Nations. So you're going to lose. You're not going to have him for virtually a season. So what's the point bringing him in if you're not even going to be able to use him? So that means you still got a hole as a number 2.
Right.
Makes no sense.
Right. Wasn't it the 3rd best defense after January? I mean, this whole
I think it was the 3rd best defense last season.
Defense, not goalkeeping. Yeah. I mean, I know defense. The goalkeeper is part of the defense. I get it, but there's a reason. Go on.
But you're right. There's a reason, Soph. You are right. There's a reason. Our attack suffered.
Yep. That's where we were. You know what? When you look at this, it's so funny how the roles reverse, Kevin. You know, it was always the back line. That was our Achilles heel. And who'd have thunk it that after the 2 seasons that Aubameyang had, if we were just able to score goals last season and finish our chances, or as our good friend Dan Potts would say, finish our dinner, maybe things would be a little bit...
would have been a lot different.
A lot different.
Would have been a lot different.
Yeah.
But any good team is based on their defense.
Yeah, as they say in the United States, defense wins championships.
And it did. We've got to say big up to Giannis.
My boy.
Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yes.
Giannis is a gooner.
Yes, he is.
And big up to them for winning the NBA title.
Maybe I should write him a note in Greek and, you know, ask him to come on the show, Kev. Get a little Giannis action on here.
Why not? Where is Arsenal top?
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. Next question, Kev.
Is the Henderson Sanchez question. Look, the funny thing about the funny thing about the Gooners is this. What do they cry out for most of all? Leadership. Here you have one of the main leaders in the Premier League, and now they don't want him. It amazes me. I only asked this question because I thought Sanchez had a really strong Euros when he played. He looked really strong, powerful, you know, looked really good. His form in the Premier League hasn't been good, but he was only young at the time. I think he was 18, 19 years old when he came to the Premier League, and it's, you know, the Premier League's unforgiving. And to Justin, who asked me about Saliba, do you remember he mentioned Saliba? Yeah. This is sometimes why, when they've got no experience of the Premier League, it's difficult for a manager to trust them. There has to be some trust at some stage, but there are some mitigating circumstances that have come into it regarding the loss of family members, etc. Why I think the young man Saliba, he's gone back to France. Because let's have it right. If we're going to sell him, we could get good money for him. But there's no shout about we're selling him. I just think he needs a little bit of time to unwind and be around his family, etc. During this trying time. So there's mitigating circumstances. But getting back to this Henderson and Sanchez looks a powerful player. He looks like, he's a player we could see playing in that Arsenal midfield. But we know the past, he didn't really grasp the Premier League. Henderson, we know we could put him in there and he'd be good from day one. Why? Because he knows how to play the midfield in the Premier League. He's one of the main leaders, and we won't ask him to score 20 goals and all that. We'll be asking him to be the leader, to be that aggression, to be tough, to make his tackles, to be that player who we can rely on in that midfield beside Thomas Partey. Sanchez can be just even more powerful, but he just doesn't have the experience. But I asked that question for a specific reason, to see about the leadership. And most of you let me down. Most of you turned around and said, no, I'm not saying you, Soph. I'm saying a lot of them, Sanchez, it just discarded Henderson. But you still ask for leadership.
Mm-hmm. It's really just fascinating sometimes, and it just tickles me pink, our Arsenal universe. Why don't we spend 50 million, 60 million on a player? Incoming maybe Ben White at 50 million. Why are we spending 50 million on him?
It's too much.
Too much, right? Then it's like, we've got no leaders, only Kieran Tierney, and Saka, ESR, they're too young. Make Tierney captain. Well, Henderson, 31 years old, probably still got 4 good years left in him. Could come in and do a job. Why would we want him?
No sell-on value. Come on, man.
I love it. I mean, I just love it. It's just perfect.
But you know what? Everyone has their opinions.
That's the beautiful thing about what we do, right?
But one thing we do know, Sophie, we need some character in that team, in the middle of the pitch. We need some character. And we need to be feared again. This ain't the Arsenal without the fear factor.
Right.
It's Arsenal. Get that fear factor in this team, and then we're the Arsenal. Because when you're the Arsenal, it don't matter whether you're home or away.
Well, it's that that conversation that we talked about in our trip down memory lanes with, with Dick Dixon and with Hillier, and that you guys already won games when you were standing in the tunnel.
Big time.
And how often did that happen, Kev?
Listen, and this is the crazy thing, most of the time, the game is won before a ball's kicked. Most of the time. I know at Highbury, people were beaten in the tunnel. Because you look at them and they look at you and they look at who's in that team, and they know what's coming.
Yeah, loved it.
Unfortunately, this Arsenal, we have to get there.
I missed. This is what, like, when people say to me, don't you want to win the Premier League again? I'm like, of course. I just want to be competitive in the Premier League.
There you go.
That's what I want. Let's start there first. I miss those days where before the banter before the game, we're going to batter you, and you knew you'd bet your mortgage on it.
It was just a matter of how many.
Yes. I mean, seriously.
That is a little bit of indulgence, but it's true.
Yes, it is
it's
true.
So true. Listen, I speak to ex-players all the time, and they tell me, when the coach used to come down, used to come down the hill, they were beaten. Yeah. Because they see all the gooners and everything, and everybody starts to clamor around the coach. They're done.
But I mean, our bravado, I want that back. When you're walking towards the stadium and you just think you're the
powerful.
Shit.
You're powerful.
I mean, that's what I miss. City fans have that now. Liverpool fans have enjoyed that after not having it for so many years in the Premier League. Chelsea fans now, they've got their peckers up, haven't they? I mean, they're all over it. And I'm just hoping that we can start building that this season. We need to see the best of Thomas Partey, right? If he's going to be the man, he's got to have a great season, Kev. He really does. Kieran Tierney's got to stay injury-free, right? Oba's got to start scoring goals again. Martinelli needs to be given some chances.
They just need to do their jobs. That's all.
Because when you see the names like Aubameyang, Martinelli, Kieran Tierney, Gabriel, Thomas Partey, Pepe, ESR, Saka, and Tavares now, Lokonga. I mean, they're not even there yet.
But they're coming.
Right?
They're coming. But when you look at the midfield, it's Partey and... That's where the fear's got to come in. Look at the midfield. Wow. We're playing against Thomas Partey and X.
And X.
We know we are in for a scrap and a half today.
You know, when you say that, do you know the first name? We should play this. I'm going to have something for you and Miss, you know, which crew next week. We'll let people know a little bit later on. But when you said that, do you know the first name that popped into my head? We've got Thomas Partey, and the name that just keeps coming is Basuma.
Basuma. Yeah. Basuma.
And you're right, Carl. We have lost our swagger and we really need to get it back. This is a very, very important year. Okay. Maddison, Kev.
So, look, I think there is some rumors about Maddison coming, and I think there is some strength in it. And what I would say is I like him as a player. I think he's a good player, but I don't think he's a game changer for Arsenal. I really don't. I think he's a good complementary player when things are going well. But when things isn't going well, I don't think he's the type of player who can grab a game by the scruff of the neck and be a difference maker, as far as I'm concerned. So I think as a complementary piece, definitely he could be a good player. But you're talking 60, 70 million is a lot of money. And for what we need him to be a difference maker. We really do.
Do you, I mean, Newman's talking about Maddison's another Ramsey, but I mean, does Maddison get as many goals as Rambo? I mean, we've missed him. We've missed him, Ramsey, for sure. We've missed his goals, right? I mean, there were things that weren't working out, but he turned up for big games in the cup finals.
Double figures, man.
Yeah.
He was hitting double figures from midfield. Now you got a chance. Because your midfield's all right, you kept Aubameyang quiet, but you haven't kept Ramsey quiet. So all of a sudden you got to worry about Ramsey, and then you leave Aubameyang. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
And you know, that fear factor, the Arsenal are just not quite there yet. We're not quite there. Dimitri, you know it. I have to preach on these people. Yeah.
By the way, Matthew's in the house. We got him up, Matthew. Thank you so much, mate.
Nice one, Matthew.
He's been this has been featuring a lot on tonight's show, I have to say.
Brock them up, man.
Yeah, he's definitely brocking it all up right now, that's for sure. And don't forget, we've got our Brock the Next Streetwear collection that is up. The link will be in the description of this show. We got hoodies, we got vests, we got it all going on, and
Pops, everything.
Yep, and proceeds of sales go to our very good friends over at Gooners versus Cancer, who are raising tons of money for leukemia as well. So look out for that in the description of this show as well.
So that's my Maddison.
That's your Maddison.
That's the wrap up. You know, that's the wrap up. I like him as a player. I think he's a complementary piece, but I don't think he is. When the game's tight, I don't think he's a match winner. But hey, listen, he may surprise me. Coming to the Arsenal can lift players, can elevate players. Let me tell you,
or kill them.
It can do that, or it can kill them.
I've been wanting to ask you this: is Coutinho toast? I mean, would you look at Coutinho? I mean, you could argue.
I know he's a difference maker. I know that. He's a difference maker. He can score goals. He can pick a pass. Very good footballer, very clever footballer. And don't forget, what was it? A couple of seasons ago, he was a Champions League winner playing with Bayern Munich on loan from Barcelona with Bayern Munich, won the Champions League. And then goes back to Barcelona, doesn't get a kick.
Yeah,
you know, so there's a lot of life left in him yet.
Yeah,
but the problem is the wages.
Okay, so that's our section of 1 hour and 10 minutes. We haven't even done the YouTube comments.
Well,
done it again, Kev.
Listen, Sophie time is good time. Sophie time is good time.
I do have to ask you this one because I promised Cliff I would, from our show with Curtis in the YouTube comments yesterday, right? So Cliff was, he was like, Kev, because you're killing me, man. He goes, 1 minute you're saying that Saka and ESR, are our babies and stuff like that. And then you're saying that if you're young enough, you're good enough, and you can play. And now you're telling me on tonight's show that Saliba's a baby, he's only 19 years old, and what do we expect?
Well, listen, Cliff, let me explain something to you. The fact of the matter is, we had to rely on these babies, Halen boys. Normally, they would be played sparingly. Saka has taken off like a rocket. Not a lot of people saw that. But you know what? We were blessed to have him. Mm-hmm. We are blessed to have Saka because you know what? Without him, we would have been in a real tough place last season. We really would have. Our player of the season is 19, starring for England as well at 19. Listen, he's gone above and beyond. The issue with Saliba is this. Saliba hasn't kicked a ball in the Premier League. Smith Rowe hadn't really, and then he came in and we needed some help. Him, Martinelli and Saka came in against Chelsea and they tore it up, man. And Gooners TV, thank you. His mum and dad died for Saliba. And I know it's not just about talent. He's a young man. He's a young man who isn't from the UK. He's French. And when you lose your parents as a young man, it's very difficult to say, I don't want to go back to France where my family is. And then he goes back and he wants to go back. He wants to go on loan there. He's comfortable there. You know, listen, talent-wise, he's got huge talent. Mm-hmm. But for me, he's dealing with things that you wouldn't wish on a young 19-year-old or 20-year-old. I wouldn't wish that on anybody to lose both their parents. So I think there's a maturing that needs to happen with him. You know, not that he's not talented or anything. I think Arsenal have had to play right with him. And for whatever the fans say, well, you know, you're not giving Saliba a chance and Mikel Arteta's got a problem with. No, I don't think so. Because, look, at the end of the day, for me, if they didn't fancy him, they would sell him because they would get a good amount of money.
Yeah. We've talked about player talent versus character as well and expectations that Mikel Arteta has. I agree with a few of the people in chat saying that Arteta hasn't exactly handled this the right way. Certainly hasn't put his arms around Saliba. And like you say, when you go through a life-changing experience and you're in a foreign country as well, it is not an easy task.
And you know something, Soph? There's one thing I will say to people. If you don't know somebody, if you don't know the person, it's difficult to connect with them if you don't know them.
Are you talking about the manager versus for the player or us as fans?
I'm talking about everything. If you don't know somebody, this is in general in life. If you don't know somebody, it's very difficult to connect with them. When you know them, then you can connect. Saliba, remember Arteta came in, Saliba was on loan. All of a sudden he came for a pre-season. It's very difficult to just go, yeah, you're my guy. It doesn't work like that.
Well, because he wasn't, was he? He didn't buy him.
No. But what I'm saying is the connection. Mm-hmm. The connection isn't quite there because the pressure's on. He needs to get results. He's got more experienced players in front of Saliba. So we said, okay, what's happened to you? I understand. They've got to play good with the young man. He went back to France. He looked a lot happier, a lot more comfortable there. What can you do? Arteta can't connect with him because he was more comfortable in France.
Is it fair for me to say to you then, like you said to me at the beginning, players who are gone, and a couple people said it too, like, let's not harp on about the players who are no longer here, the Emi Martinez's of the world, the players that we've sold. Do we have to put Saliba in our rearview mirror for this season, Kev? Yeah. Because here's my biggest fear, right? Like, And this is why I so want us to get off to a good start this season. It's so important for us to not start off the season dodgy. But if our defense has some mistakes, if Gabriel makes a mistake, or let's say it's going to be Ben White, and if it's not Ben White, it's going to be someone, it's Pablo Mari or whoever it is, then that narrative just kicks in again, over and over and over again. And I think it's going to be impossible to avoid.
Yeah, but that's Arsenal fans. Don't forget, Arsenal fans have been talking about leadership. Next week, we ask them, do you want a leader in there? They're telling you, no, we want somebody else. So it's going to happen. People are going to say things. It's their opinion. I don't mind all that, Sophie. For me, the players' welfare and mental health is the most important thing. Because you know what? If Arsenal played it wrong, you lose him forever. You lose the person, the man, the young man forever.
I feel like it's going to kick in. 27 million. Why is he there? He should be here. We need him. This is gonna come back to haunt us.
That is a narrative that we're going to hear.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we will get to your YouTube comments next week. We are 1 hour and 15 minutes in. It's Friday night. It's been epic. There's 500 plus in live chat right now.
Wow,
500 plus of you. Imagine if each and every one of you hit that like button. If you hate Tottenham,
can you hit the like button, please? Come on now, no messing around.
No Arsenal fan should not hit it with that comment. If you hate Tottenham, hit the like button. If you think Tottenham are going to go trophyless this season, again, hit that like button. If you think Aubameyang's going to score more than 10 goals, hit that like button. Oh, brilliant stuff. Right, Matthew, we did mention your handle at the beginning of the show.
Matthew, top class
as well. Thank you again for sending that stuff. You can follow, he's on Facebook at Jumbybird Animation or on Instagram at Jumbybird Animation. You can check Matthew's workout. We are so grateful for, I scared Kevin with this one.
Whoa. That's off with the head. That ain't broke the neck. That's off with the head.
We're not joking here. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yep.
We're gonna have to get him to do some pleasant ones for us, so we don't come across as complete.
Hey, it's the Highbury squad. People who used to be scared of us at Highbury, you said that's what you wanted. Now you got it.
Yeah. And Martin has also offered up his services. Martin, thank you so much. And he also said that he owes us for the good therapy over the last year, Kevin. And we say you don't owe us. Yeah, exactly.
What's the thing?
Absolutely. It's been so cool. The ride has been great. And we welcome all the new listeners to the show as well. It's been a great week. We've had Jordan Jarrett Bryant from Channel 4 News. We've had DJ Tony Perry, the Wembley Euro DJ. We have had Super Jack Wilshin. We've had Curtis Shaw, who just ripped it up last night. It was brilliant. And we've also, of course, had Mr. Super Kevin Campbell as well.
Oh, and I broke a few necks in there as well.
You did. And thank you to everyone for your kind words, reaching out. It's just been fantastic. It's really been a great week for the show. And we completely and utterly appreciate every single one of you. This is how we do things here. It's a collective presentation and a love fest. Sometimes it's a fight fest, but the Arsenal bring all the good and the bad, the ugly in all of us. But at the end of the day, we love our club. Kev, next week, we're going to have David Hillier on the show next week.
Fantastic. Me old pal, me old mucker.
Yep, absolutely. Mr. Lee Judges will be making a return to the show next week. And by the way, he was giving you shit about wearing your shades.
And listen, let me just tell you this, right? When Gianni Judges talks about Plymouth, you're in trouble because he has got no Plymouth. Gianni Judges, I hope you're watching. Gianni Judges, get out of it. Nobody listen, Plymouth, you in Plymouth. Listen, hold on a minute. There's a different set here. I've got to put these on there.
Gianni Judges.
Judges.
That may be better than Magic Mike. I mean, that is
Gianni
absolutely
Judges.
brilliant.
Can you believe Gianni Judges is talking to me about style?
Oh
Can
God.
you believe that? Oh my God.
So good. Absolutely brilliant. Just top shelf stuff, Kev. Brilliant stuff. We're also going to have a Wednesday women's show as well. So we're going to get some top shelf women on the show on Wednesday as well. So listen, we got it all for you. We got Gianni Judges. We got David Hillier. We're going to have some great women on the show. Kev will be back next Friday's show. We'll make sure it's a YouTube comment show. So be sure to leave all your comments, and Kev will get to every single one of those as well. Next week, I'm going to be giving away a Bruk the Neck hat, a Bruk the Neck tee. All right.
Yep.
So we got some swag we're giving away too. And don't forget to visit our good friends at Football Prizes, footballprizes.co.uk for the best collectible Arsenal memorabilia. I'm going to give away 2 free tickets next week, Kev. 2 free tickets because there's some epic stuff coming down the pipe. All right.
Sophie, I've got a question.
Now it's Kevin time.
No, it's Kevin time.
For all the new people, I get blamed for going 20 minutes over.
Well, we are 20 minutes over. What are you talking about? We are 20 minutes over, so I might as well get another question in just to finish. Do you think not going to America is going to prove to be difficult?
A blessing?
Well,
or a blessing?
It could be difficult or a blessing. A curse or a blessing?
It's a really good question because where we're going to get the games in, right? I think travel-wise, I think it's a blessing because God knows what could have happened with COVID. And I feel that keeping everyone in a bubble, keeping everyone in the UK, prepping, being together, focusing on these deals, bringing home soil. But I do think we need to have a match. I mean, don't you think
they would organise? They will organise.
What they're going to do? Play the under-23s?
No, I mean, they will organise games. They will organise games, and they might have to have a few games behind closed doors as well, which happens. Every team does that. But I think when you're playing English sides, it hardens you because you play abroad, and it's after the Lord may show sometimes. We need to be able to hit that ground running. And we need tough games against teams who are going to try and put it on us.
The other thing too is one of the things, Lokonga would have got a little bit more action. Tavares, of course, he just hit the ground running, but preseason, we can't take anything from that. Those are the players that are not, okay, Aubameyang, I'm hoping he's going to find his feet. Lacazette, they're all going to, like Pepe, they're going to figure it out, physically, mentally, hopefully. Saka's still on a rest. The thing that worries me is that integrating the new players and giving them that, it's still a game, right, Kev?
Yeah.
I mean, you know a lot better than I do. It's still, putting your kit on and going out and playing is different than just being in training all the time if we can't get games because we had to cancel the America tour.
Arsenal have to have games, and they will organise games, Soph. They will organise games. Obviously, there's a lot of moving and shaking that has to happen to organise the games. And it might not be the big spectacles at the big stadiums, but the Emirates is there, and teams would like to come and play at the Emirates, and that's what Arsenal probably might have to do.
Oh, they should play the women's team. That's a really good idea. Also, this is a great idea.
Yeah. Come on now.
What do you mean? Why not? Why not play the women's team? It's a good scrimmage. Why not?
Come on now.
But, I mean, it doesn't have to be televised. Just play them.
No.
Sophie. Oh, you don't like that? Why, are you embarrassed they might lose?
Sophie.
Let's not go there.
Do you know who plays the women's team? The youth team.
Oh, Kev.
I am telling you. I've seen it happen already.
It's a little joke, all right, but at the same time,
I'm being serious.
There's been times when Medema and Van der Donk and Knobs were killing it more than
but they're playing against women. All I'm saying is, I'm not saying that they're not good players, but the women's team plays the youth team. That's all, not the first team.
Maybe they should play you and Dixon. How would you guys fare against them? Would you, not the women, the men's team? How would they fare if you played and Dixon played and no?
Come on. Come on.
Oh dear. I'm gonna become a victim of this now.
I'm gonna explode there. So
listen, I'm very well aware that men and women do not have the same strength, right? I'm not that kind of woman. But
you know what? It's a good question, but it's a naughty question from
it's
you.
a naughty question.
It's a naughty question.
And we know that Van der Donk left. We were talking about last season, Matt.
Hey, listen, and the women, Arsenal women,
they're rock
by the way,
stars.
they start off their campaign against, I think, Chelsea, don't they? The campaign starts against Chelsea.
Run with cows. I think I should go now. I don't like blood.
No disrespect, ladies, but the physicality alone will be a bit too much.
Look, we both know men and women are different physically, right? Yeah. But I'm just saying, on any day, anyone can beat anyone, Kev. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying.
Yeah, all right, so that samurai's come out, all right.
Cliff, you missed your bit. You're gonna have to rewind it and listen.
You're gonna have to rewind
but Kev gave you some responses. All right, it is 20 minutes of fire. Okay, that's it. Kev, take us out.
Listen, everybody, thanks for joining us all week. We really appreciate you coming in. Have a lovely Friday evening and have a fantastic weekend. And be ready for the Highbury squad next week. So, squaddies, I salute you.